Live from the Duchy of Canada, it's the Vocal Minority Podcast.
Past the Duchy on the left-hand side?
I just want to be part of an exclave. That sounds pretty sweet.
Ooh, yeah.
You should never get back with your exclaves, though.
Or text them at 3 a.m.
If Canada's a duchy, who's the Duke or Duchess in charge of us? Who does our money all flow to?
Nominations are open.
Ah.
Alanis Morissette, I assume.
That seems reasonable.
The Duchess of Irony?
Perfect.
No, I'm not happy with that.
No? Well, nominate somebody then.
Yeah, I mean, she does have one hand in everyone's pockets.
Classic. Yeah. You're in the pocket of big irony.
Yeah.
You live, you learn.
Hey,
Movie theaters.
Thank you. Well, you ought to know. All right. Well, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Vocal Minority Podcast. The podcast that just needs another 10 days of preparation, just like all the other podcasts. That's all I'm saying. On this week's show, we review a disappointing outing for the men's national team. Start looking ahead to the Gold Cup. Ooh, who's excited? Bid a true legend farewell. I am so sad. Reluctantly talk about TFC because I put it in the rundown. I'm going to make everyone and more. Now, this week's panel. Really, really looking forward to the Gold Cup because it's all he talks about. Seriously, it's Duncan Fletcher.
Oh, yeah. Theoretically, sure, but it looks like Canada doesn't give a shit, so, yeah. Yeah.
It's Duncan's favorite kind of tournament.
I generally,
I know you like the Gold Cup. I know you do.
But
yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it later. It'll be fun. Yay.
Better than this whole fucking Nations League nonsense.
Oh, I know. Fine with the fact that we're not talking about CanPL this week. Say hello to Mark Hinckley.
Are we? Are you sure?
I mean, we could, but I didn't put it in the rundown, so.
Just don't. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. Good.
I feel like Halifax won a game again, didn't they?
They did. Too.
This is great. We're doing it right in the intro. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're racing up the standings. Do you know who's in first place, though, with a game in hand?
York.
Awesome.
No.
Oh. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He was really, really interested right up until that second goal. Welcome to Tony Walsh.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
I never will. I might make suggestions.
Noted.
There you go.
Ignored.
As for me, as per usual, I still don't understand how you don't sub him on. What the fuck? I am your host, Kristin Knowles. Now to our show.
More sub-humor, eh? Classless.
Jesus Christ. So first up on the show, what's been happening? Yeah, we're going to move past this. And all we're going to talk about is the Nations League final between the Canadian men's national team and the Yanks on Sunday night. And boy, was that not fun.
But how did that final happen? And we must have won some kind of semi-final since last we spoke.
Oh, right. I didn't even think to put that in there. Man.
Yeah.
What have they done for her lately?
Before we start recording, if there's any questions about the rundown, that's when you're supposed to bring this up, Duncan. You're in charge of that.
We didn't expect you to gloss over a victory. To go straight for the jugular.
It's right there in print. You can just see it and be like, hey, Kristin, were you going to mention this? No? All right. We'll just bring it up at the worst possible moment.
You print these up?
Yes.
You monster.
The apartment is littered with rundowns, with writing on them. I just callously waste high grade white glossy paper.
Hello, listeners. It's Mark Hinckley here from the Vocal Minority Podcast. We are now appealing for a literacy campaign. Apparently, 1 in 4 podcasters cannot read. With your donations, you can help get Tony literacy.
I like pictures.
Look at this man. Look at him. It's a podcast, but pretend. Look at him.
All right. On Thursday night, when the semifinals happened, which I didn't see because I was at work, Canada had a tidy win, 2-0 win over Panama. And the USA beat Mexico very handily. I think, Mark, you and I have already had this conversation. Yeah, we sort of forgot that Mexico actually just sucks right now. Beat them 3-0.
Yeah, I believe in that conversation, I said something along the lines of, it's going to take 2 more World Cup cycles for me to finally remember that Mexico aren't as good as they used to be. Because every time I see Mexico, it's like, oh my God, I'm scared. And they're not any reason to be scared right now.
Yeah.
They haven't been since for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But
especially the last 2 years. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they live rent free because it's Mexico, right? It's very annoying. Anyway, so the semifinal matches, both teams that advanced did, again, didn't have to exert themselves too much, scored some goals, kept clean sheets. No one got injured.
A lot of people got sent off, though.
That was funny.
I didn't in any way watch the US-Mexico game, but I enjoyed looking it up the next day. So, all right, the States were in whatever, but 4 people sent off. Yes. That's exactly the kind of game I wanted. But, well.
And then apparently there was several very loud instances of that chant, and more people on social media being, well, they have to do something. They're not going to do anything. They just don't fucking care. Oh, we're going to stop the match. Bad people. Yeah, until you start playing those matches in front of no fans and docking them points and money, nothing's going to change. And we've had this conversation 1,000 times, so we're not going to really get into it today. So that advances us to Sunday, which is the match I actually got a chance to see. And also the final, which really, it'd be more fun to talk about the semifinal because they won and they played decently, as opposed to how they played on Sunday night, which was badly.
They didn't play great in the semifinal. I mean, obviously they're playing against the worst opponent, but they looked kind of sloppy and not great. But
so they just carried that over to the final.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of read how people were talking about the final because I didn't get to watch that much of it, and it kind of felt like, that's about how I kind of felt about the semifinal. Really, just they don't really have it together right now. But Panama weren't that good, so we're able to win anyway. Whereas the USA are quite good, and so Canada's would have to be at their best to make a game of it, and they clearly weren't. But they're less than their best, clearly good enough to beat Panama. But
all right, well, that's good to know because I hadn't really paid much attention to how they won the match. I just saw a 2-0 clean sheet and went, all right, Panama was one of the few teams that sort of gave them any trouble in the last year or two. So probably a good match, but I should have read more, and that's my fault. But I was in Montreal, so. But it is disappointing to know that match to match that they didn't sort of find that second gear. And I think they lost 2-0 and they deserve to lose. I'm actually they probably deserve to lose by more goals. But the US didn't have to score any more goals. It was one of the more disappointing matches watching them in the last 2-3 years. And just like you said, they were sloppy. There was certainly a level of that, but they just seemed very lackluster. There was no spark on the pitch from them for longer than maybe the occasional 20 seconds or a little attacking run. Oh, here's something, but then it would just die, and someone would do something stupid or no one would make a run to the far post. There would just be nothing. They look so flat, and not used to them being flat, at least not for 90 minutes. Okay, they were flat for the first half. They went down. Normally, they would at least come back with a bit of fire in the second half, right? And it just sort of never felt like that. And I saw somebody say that on Twitter somewhere, that wasn't the team that played with like the fire that you expect from a Herdman team, right? Because usually there's something that has, you know, either a halftime talk or before the match, Borean, somebody does something like, it's Atiba's last fucking match, for Christ's sakes. Like, you couldn't get up for that? What's wrong with you people? But yeah, like, and you can see players trying to do too much. Alphonso Davies take a bow, and perhaps being asked to do too much. Jonathan David looked uncharacteristically inadequate in front of the net. Kyle Larin had a terrible night. Just, again, nothing. Reverting to Kyle Larin of old, where I don't like him. Yeah, Scott Kennedy, uncharacteristically bit of a messy night from him. And we're all big fans of Scott Kennedy in defense. Like, they weren't all terrible. There was some good play, but yeah, this was not.
It was not cohesive.
No,
it was. When it collapsed, they were punished for it. Like even the smallest, like, incomplete pass that's a counterattack, like a full-on counterattack.
Every time.
It really felt like tactically, and I hate to say this, Berhalter had our fucking number.
100%.
The United States had our number. Everybody remember the Hamilton game? Remember that? We froze.
Yep.
We won. We embarrassed him. Opposites. If you didn't watch it, it was the opposite. Where we had an answer for everything that they did, they had two answers for everything we did. And it was hard. Like, it was hard to watch. It's like, what the fuck happened? And it was like that almost from the get-go. It wasn't even like, the first goal went in. Ugh. It's like, you could see this was not going to end well fairly quickly, because in that first 20 minutes before they conceded, or no, sorry, before the second goal, at no point in time had Canada done anything really meaningful to test Arsenal's third best keeper. So I can't believe he got.
Yeah, they made him look good. Like, good.
They made him look like Arsenal made a good move.
It was frustrating as fuck. I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy looks like world class right now. What the fuck? You know, and yeah, sure, Canada had lots of possession because they couldn't figure out a fucking thing to do with it. Oh, so frustrating. I'm not used to being this angry about the Canadian squad.
I mean, recent years, yes. I'm not used to. I'm finding stored up rage
from previous years. Yeah.
like I put rage in jars and preserves and stuck it in a fruit cellar. I live in an apartment, so use your imagination. They're in jars in a fruit cellar next to the beets, next to the asparagus, next to the pickles, all in jars. And I went and got 3 on Sunday and opened them all up. And it was fresh, surprisingly. It was like, oh, this is like brand new rage. Brand new disappointment. My God.
Is it in brine or syrup?
Tears, actually.
Oh. So brine.
Yeah, I preserved the rage from tears of years gone by. So it's straight up vinegar, honestly, and salt. Yeah, so yeah, it's brine. You're right, it's brine.
That's some good bespoke stuff. You could sell that. You could sell that in small towns at fancy shops.
Oh,
Mark, do you want to set up a sub store on the Voyageurs page in our shop? You know, like they would probably sell like a lot. So
a sub store, like Mr. Sub, or
God, more sub jokes, classless.
Oh God,
just for you.
Anyway, good shout everyone on that on the subject. I don't know. Once they come up with a really good logo and a fucking hilarious name, I'm in. Until then, cool. it's just like, this is weird. But
so then, all right. So the match was bad. They lost, deservedly lost.
It's just a shame that it's like tears and it's not like spit that it was in there, because then it could just be Mark Spitz. Like
Okay. That's Duncan, absolutely worth the interruption. That's
fantastic. That's excellent.
I'm trying to think. Can't come up with anything yet. But anyway, keep going.
That's good. So after the match, John Herdman, of course, has a press conference, because they always do. Everyone they have to say something. And I don't know if all of you have watched some of it, any of it, read some of the comments. What I can't, so I struggle with some of his post-match comments, in that I'm concerned that Herdman is living in a little bit of fantasy world, when he kept talking about how close they were, how they were right there all match. And I'm like, did you watch the same match, sir? Clearly not. I have concerns. So that was one side where I was just like, no.
To be fair, it's a big stadium. Maybe it was depth perception.
That's true. That's true. But then on the other hand, and again, I don't. Where it's easy to throw everything at the feet of the CSA and their general incompetence. But you do wonder, again, is not all of that, because some of this is definitely coaching. And some of it is player motivation. Like there's a lot happening. We can just blame it all on Neville, I suppose.
Everyone's units were wrong.
Right. Because he's talking about the fact that, again, like the things that the XNT's been talking about, that there's not money for proper preparation, that there's not money for proper flights and things like this. And so he's talking about the fact that every other country, every other team had so much more preparation time than the Canadian squad did. Talking about during the World Cup, either during the World Cup itself or during the qualifiers, how he had to help fundraise money for flights, this sort of thing, for chartered flights and for security. And saying, like, we're hosting a World Cup, we're going to a World Cup in 3 years, and we're not ready as an organization to do this, to put forth our best effort. And so when you've got two teams and now a coach, and again, it's easy to lay all the blame at the CSA. And again, it's not all there, because Herdman really does need to look to himself about coaching choices and when he makes subs, and the fact that Alphonso Davies played like 4 different positions during that match. But is some of that, true? Like, is some of that the cause for some of this? Like, maybe that's why they look sloppy and disconnected. They didn't have enough time to play together, even though the previous year they played together all the time. But it's been a while. What do you guys think?
I think there's an element of truth to that. But again, I mean, where does he think the money's come from? The players want more money to be given to themselves. The women's players want more money to be given to them. The women's team wants more money to be spent on the women's team preparation. So does the men's team, apparently. There's a CPL to fund, like through CSB. They're taking all the money. There's all the other things. I mean, has the CSA done a great job financially? No. But where the fuck does all the people making the demands think the fucking money's coming from? And compare yourself to the US. Yeah, I'm sure the US had a big account. Probably. I think they've got a lot of fucking more money, don't they? They're a much bigger country, had a lot more success over the years. Yeah, they've got more money. They can do more. The World Cup, you compare yourself to all the other countries at the World Cup. Yeah, those other countries are probably sort of bigger, have much more established footballing associations or what have you. And yeah, congratulations, you're now sort of swimming in a bigger pond and what have you. But yeah, they've got more money. And there's only so much the fucking CSA can do, guy. And, not just guys, not just Herdman, but everybody who's constantly making financial demands. And that deal with the CSB has really limited things. But that helps build the Canadian Premier League, which we all think is a good idea and should be helped out. It's like, where do they think the money's actually coming from for all these things? And, compare yourself to bigger countries, and you're going to look and think, well, we're getting shafted. But, I imagine, if Panama was putting together some kind of huge, lavish, long camp with all sorts of things for their players and everything, and putting Canada's spending to shame, then, sure, that's an argument. But I'm guessing they probably weren't. The States, yeah, they probably were. But they've got a shitload of more money. Where's it coming from, Erdman? Yeah.
2 words.
Go on.
Bake sale.
I was just going to say, bake sale.
That is a good idea.
All right, maybe
I make some pretty good cookies. I'll contribute for sure.
do you want me to sell that the fermented rage too?
Definitely.
Oh, perfect.
You can have it at the stall next to Alfonso's gravy.
Oh my God.
But if Alfonso is in any way involved, he's going to want all the money for himself. So no. No.
Pistachios?
Yes.
Oh my God, this is turning out to be one of the greatest things we've ever done.
Definitely, yes.
With the CSA farmers market? Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's gonna be a traveling farmers market, but it's only gonna have 3 locations spread over the course of a year. And none of them will be Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver.
Saskatoon and
Ottawa. Definitely Ottawa.
Ottawa and St. John's.
Because they could do it in the underground parking next to the CSA office.
For a low fee.
Oh, yes, but of course.
But what these guys have said about the money, honestly, more Duncan. Tony was doing comedy, which is great. But
I was serious.
No. You weren't. But it comes down to how does somebody think if they magically find the formula to slice the pie a certain way, that's going to produce more money? That's the thing that I always keep coming back to. It's well, if you want 2 million and you want 2 million and you want $1.5 million and you want 500,000, you want 600,000. How do you do that with a $3 million pot? How do you do it? How do you do it? Just how? And it's not even this. It's not even a case of pick your favorite child. Who deserves it more? No, that's not how that works ever. But there's compromises to be made. Have the right compromises been made over the last year or two? Some might say no, but it's just is at the end of it all, there's still not enough money to do the things that they want to do at a reasonably professional, fully supported level.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's so easy to vilify the CSB on it, but it was also a bunch of suits who signed on that fucking agreement thinking that was a good deal. So since they've been so good at managing investments and forecasting, who could blame them for the situation that they've got themselves into? I don't. It's tradition. It really is. It just is tradition now.
I don't know. I don't want. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating to know what they're capable of and what they've been capable of in these last 2 years, right? 2, maybe 3 years. It's, and then regardless of outside influences, to see them put forth a performance like that, where it really just did seem like they got out coached, they got out beat, they got out tacticked, whatever. And what happens from here and what happens next is that the Gold Cup is starting in a week. Like it starts in a week from today. And Canada have a match here in Toronto against somebody. We still don't know who yet.
Still don't know.
We'll know soon. We'll know soon.
I feel like I saw something that had at least narrowed it down to 2 teams. It was like Guadeloupe and somebody.
And Guyana, I think. Yeah, it was 2 Gs. Okay. Yeah. So
Grenada's a G.
It's true. I don't think that was one of them though.
Fine.
I didn't say it wasn't. I said I didn't think. Just relax. Anyway, but I guess we'll probably talk about that next week before the match. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, so there's a very quick turnaround in which to now find some redemption in this cycle, and a lot of the stories you'll see in the comments from Herdman, but also from other soccer media types. Christian Jack had quite the fiery post-match anger fest. It was actually rather enjoyable. About this generation, and that this generation is being wasted in terms of results, and that could very likely be true. It does happen.
I'm okay. I'm not going to get on the Herdman out mini wagon, but any fear that they overperformed at such a level in World Cup qualifying that he's almost spent as far as like not goodwill, but like energy from the players goes. Like, you go that hard and that successful for a period, the only way is down for a little bit, especially and the World Cup was the expectations were low, but it was a letdown. So we're kind of like in a lull right now, maybe. Yeah, like are they able to get that level back? Like they were performing at a really high level, and they're whether it's all skill or heart, however you want to classify it, a mixture of both. I don't know. Perhaps he can't. Like that takes up we'll look back in that in years and say like what an effort that was, and what a tremendous, unlike anything we'd seen before from Canada. True. Yeah. And like, I don't know, can you catch that magic twice? I don't know.
Probably not at the same level. I mean, but again, to get to that final, we beat Honduras.
Yeah. Oh no,
March or April. We beat Panama in the semi-final. We have consistently maintained that level. And now we're playing against. I mean, the States are legitimately a good team.
They are. It's annoying.
Well, what are people really expecting?
No, I know, and that's the thing. It feels it's sacrilegious to complain about Canada being in a final of a continental tournament.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
I mean, it's a good thing. The expectations are high for it. I mean, listen, they played poorly. There's no two ways about it. It's not on. I don't think there's any one place to lay the blame, but I mean, when we sit back and think like what we would have given a decade ago for Canada to be a regular in the final conversation of whether it be qualifying or tournaments. I mean, we'll see
5 years ago.
We'll see the Gold Cup. Well, maybe that changes the way we frame everything that's happened since the World Cup. But I don't know. I guess that would be my only fear. Not that, I mean, listen, who would be, even if Herdman walked for his own reasons or whatever, like who's in line? That's not like,
Phil Neville's here now.
Oh, right. Never mind.
All right.
Him and his brothers.
Yes.
Don't know, like Phil Neville, he obviously made the obvious and lazy cock unit joke earlier, but I mean, what exactly is like a unit coach? And like Richard Shaw, he was like a position coach. I mean, like, those are guys who should be like on top of fucking set pieces and like set piece defending and that sort of thing. That didn't work out well, did it?
No.
Somebody's going to be on top of the unit, though.
Well, and that's for the position coach to decide.
True. They really work in tandem.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Anyway, no, those are good questions. They were brought in last minute to bolster the coaching staff, and did they help or did they hinder? Was it just like too many voices in the room? Like,
do you think the players were starstruck?
Very possible.
Richard Shaw, absolutely.
He was a Watford legend, wasn't he?
Exactly.
Wasn't that how he's described?
Triumphant.
Yes.
Oh, triumphant.
Yes, right. Triumphant.
Yes. Elton John adjacent.
Hold me closer. All right, let's move on from this because we just spent a whole show on it, but we've got other stuff to talk about.
Could I add two last words on this?
Yes.
Chocolate almonds.
Door to door, like boxes of them.
Exactly. That's how teams
famous?
make money.
We doing world famous?
Sure.
You think you have to?
Yes.
As long as we're not doing citrus, like I did that once for band, and I do not. I never. Yes, we used to sell oranges and grapefruits. It's just
fuck?
I don't even want to talk. It's
You deserve to go out of business.
No, you should never talk about it because it was a bad decision to begin with.
It was a very bad decision, let me tell you.
What? Anyway,
I
have more questions.
You can ask me. We can talk about it another time, but not today. Let's move on.
Like all kinds of citrus, like limes, even.
I think
oranges and grapefruits. I already stated.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Well, and if you'd gone into limes and lemons, then you might have had a chance. But
yeah, for the drinking crowd.
Yeah.
Oh no. We sold a shit ton. They just weigh the truck. Anyway, this is
You had a truck?
We had a truck show up with yes, we had to have it delivered to us, and then we had to deliver it to the people that bought them from us. Bunch of band kids at like 5:00 in the morning offloading a truck of citrus.
I thought they were just like putting them in the tuba and launching them at people's porches.
This is like when said Girl Guides sell the cookies, and you find the Girl Guides parents just took a bunch of boxes to work. You had a truck. You should have been like carrying that shit door to door, like putting the real work in. Kids today.
We had to deliver. We had to go door to door delivering them. The truck showed up. We had to offload the truck.
Was it one of those oldie?
Jesus.
Was it one of those oldie timey farmers trucks with the wooden sides?
No. It's a proper transport truck.
Well, that's not romantic at all.
Sorry. I apologize that my high school years of indentured servitude selling nonsense is not entertaining you.
Was it at least domestically grown citrus?
Yes, because Canada is known far and wide for its oranges and grapefruits.
Niagara's a fruit basket. Thank you very much.
Pardon?
I said Niagara's a fruit basket. You could have sold something else.
Well, we didn't.
Peaches, strawberries, ice wine.
Anyway,
he's not wrong.
So what we're talking about, and we're going to talk about some more things because obviously we've been talking about Nations League, but the first thing we're going to talk about is something that makes me tremendously sad. And we talked about it last week, and we didn't actually think it was going to happen quite yet, but maybe, and it is, and he didn't even get to play in the last game. And that is Atiba Hutchinson has officially retired from football club and country. And it sucks because it feels like he has always been here.
Well, not on Sunday. It didn't.
Well, that's a question, at least his last game was a win. So yay. Why he didn't get subbed on is a question that everybody has asked. I've seen some people be like, he may have asked to not be, considering what was being on display in front of him, right?
He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy like,
exactly.
Nah, I'm good.
So, in this, I'm not here to talk about whether or not, he should have been subbed on. He should have been subbed on. But it's more just to be.
There's nothing to talk about. To be fair, there's nothing that he should have been.
Of course he should have been.
Yeah. What happened to romance? It was 2-0. Like,
you give those, and he's a passionate, driven player who has lifted that team up more than once. So you give him that opportunity.
Even if it was 5 minutes, the game was done. Like,
there's like 400 fans that traveled to the fucking tournament in the stands. Yeah. Give them a chance to say goodbye, because the rest of us aren't going to get to. So
until the CSA announces his world tour or his cross Canada tour.
We can dream. We can dream.
Maybe he'll be the opening act for the Canadian women's Olympic team.
Oh, mean.
What? That's still going on, isn't it? The victory tour?
I'm sure it is.
It hasn't reached Toronto yet, so I presume.
No, I haven't seen it.
Of course, it's still going on. Good point. Yeah. Anyway, it is. I am very sad to see him go, but I'm more sad that there are still so many people that do not understand what he has accomplished as a player and what he did staying with the program as long as he did and helping to change the program and what he has contributed to Canadian soccer, and helped legitimize Canadian soccer players internationally with his play at Besiktas. And anyways, I love this man very, very much as a player. It has been an absolute pleasure to watch him, to cheer for him, to see how other players have been inspired by him, to see how supporters are inspired by him. And I'm just sad to see him go, and I'm sad to see him go on this note. And that we don't get to give him a proper send-off, just on a personal supporter wanting to do the big thing for one of the most important players to ever pull on the shirt for Canada, that we don't get to do that. So hopefully they do trot him out for some sort of tour. I don't know. Maybe he'll join the coaching staff. But I am sad.
There'll be some kind of game where they bring him out at halftime or something, and
everyone can just win. He just waves at everybody. Yeah,
he can wave to the crowd, Pablo Rossi style.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's what I'm afraid of.
20 minutes before kickoff, Pablo Rossi style.
Yeah, that's the concern right there.
I don't know what I don't know what the proper send off is for him at this point.
I don't know either,
because it's such
giant stuffed octopus.
I mean,
in a Voyageurs plaid jacket. I have to tell Jamie that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It feels like, I don't know. I don't feel, it just feels like whatever ceremony, whatever praise, like display, set time thing is immediately going to be mishandled, no matter what the fuck they do. Yeah, we're going to trot him out of Toronto in the game for the Gold Cup before kickoff. Have you seen a Toronto crowd be there at fucking kickoff? It doesn't happen. You could literally say, come here at 5 for a game at 7, and they'll arrive at 7:15, and there'll only be 3 gates open because they didn't hire enough gate attendants because. Like already that's a cringe-worthy moment. You're going to do it at halftime when everyone's gone take a whiz. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the proper send-off that he truly deserves can and should look like. Honestly, I feel like he should just do a lap around the pitch at the beginning of the second half.
I would suggest, Mark, let's next Canada home game, wherever it would be, we'll give him like a fake mustache and a beard or something like that, and dress him up as a physio. And then, it's maybe like halfway through the second half, Milan Boyan's got an injury, sort of kind of bring the physios on. You can kind of like sort of run on and everything. And then, kind of like peel off his disguise and hooray, bask in the adulation of everyone. So in the middle of the game, whilst people are actually there.
I like the idea of, and pause for applause. Yeah. Yeah. Wave. Wait 2 minutes for applause to die down. People to take their seats from the standing ovation. I mean, that would be.
He's the first statue that needs to be built. Like if they ever, if there's a place, I don't know. I was gonna say if there's a place that we can agree on, which is impossible. Well, where's the Canadian Soccer Hall of Fame?
Good question.
Canadian Soccer Hall of Fame?
Is that up with like the soccer center up in Vaughan or something? Or?
No, that's the Ontario Soccer Hall of Fame.
Okay, yep.
Like legit, that is there.
Yeah, I knew there was something there, but Ontario, okay.
Canadian Soccer Hall of Fame? There must be one. Probably in Ottawa.
It's in Ottawa. It was originally in Vaughan. It's in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. There. I didn't know that about Vaughan. It had too many soccer Hall of Fames.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That beat my guess, which was Vic Router's garage.
You know, like if there's ever a player, it's got to be Atiba and then Kristin Sinclair and then, you know, everybody else.
Old call. You go with Atiba before Kristin Sinclair.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, he just retired, so she's still playing.
Oh, okay. So it's a time
to that one.
Okay, so he's got a few months before the next before the World Cup or what have you, and then presumably Sinclair might retire after the World Cup. So he's got a few months to get the Hutchinson, get the Atiba statue up before Kristin Sinclair retires.
Precisely.
Okay.
What about a dual statue of them on horses riding into the sunset?
Well, they are the Twin Towers, right, of Canadian soccer.
Too soon.
You'd like to substitute that with something else?
It was a basketball reference, and you know it.
Was it a wrestling reference? I think it might have been a wrestling reference.
No,
there was a Twin Towers in wrestling, wasn't there? There was a tag team.
Yeah, one man gang and Big Boss Man.
Yeah, that's about right.
Anywho, yeah. So let's get a statue of those guys. Yeah.
What a Big Boss Man and One Man Gang.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
That's inappropriate on a couple levels, but anyway.
Dear listeners, if you know who I'm talking about basketball wise, please let us know in the comments. Tony, no, you're not allowed to answer.
Basketball Twin Towers, interesting.
Mass anyway.
What about Bump and Thump?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They were in basketball.
Is that the Sonics?
Can we go back to saying nice things about Atiba Hutchinson instead of just doing this right now? Like there's lots of show left for us to fuck around with.
I hope Atiba
I'm trying to be serious here, you guys.
I hope Atiba Hutchinson
I don't know why.
Gets trotted out in front of every MLS and CanPL team. For
that sounds like a punishment than anything.
It really does. I was like, I don't know where you're going with this, but continue.
Okay, so this is the logic. If we want to give a Canadian legend his flowers, there's 11 pro clubs, and maybe you skip York, but you know what I mean. Like you can just like I figured like that would be like every supporters group would absolutely stand for that man. And half of each stadium would probably know who the fuck he is and would also stand for that man. And while the crowds may not necessarily reflect the respect and applause and adulation he deserves, I don't know if there's going to be an easier way to properly show that love from a supporter, like in-person supporters level type thing.
Right.
Because if I leave it in the hands of the CSA, it's going to be when everyone's still trying to get in the fucking stadium. And that hurts. That hurts. Anyway, that's I don't the man deserves the man deserves the world. I look forward to him somehow him becoming the president of Canadian soccer and leading it to its glory that we so rightfully and richly deserve.
Agreed. Again, that sounds like another thing that just sounds like a punishment.
I'm just saying, if there's a leader to be had, sure. I would follow him off a cliff at this point.
I just feel like, yeah, he's put in his time, let him go, let him enjoy his life. But yes, agreed. If getting involved at the CO, just like with coaching or what have you, is something that he wants to do, then absolutely fucking kick Phil Neville to the curb for this guy. Absolutely.
100%.
Oh yeah. Sign him up immediately. Yeah. Also, like, it's interesting. I don't know if he, like, hopefully he does stay involved in Canadian soccer some way. I don't know if he's ever really talked much about coaching, but considering the amount of like respect players have for him in terms of, going into coaching within the Canadian program, that could be a really good thing if he's got any facility for it,
True. I mean, it might be, his club career isn't officially over yet, is it?
No, it is.
Oh, it is. This is a full retirement?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he retired from club first.
Oh, I didn't.
Club first and then country. Yeah.
I didn't know if that was this is how we're going to quietly get out of the contract and then have a day in the sun at MLS. I don't know. I didn't know if it was like a full official, like, I'm definitely not playing no more type of. Anyway, enough of my imagination. I hope he takes a break first.
Agreed.
And then all of a sudden shows up, bam, UEFA A license. Had it all along, fuckers. I'm like, oh, incredible. Nobody saw it coming.
He's just been secretly doing it. Yeah.
Oh, part of the contract at Besiktas is like, if you're going to play here, you have to get your UEFA A license. He's like, done.
All right. Anyway, Atiba, we thank you. We thank you for everything. You are fantastic. We're very sorry that we were not able to do more for you. He should never be able to buy. He should never have to buy a drink or a meal in Canada ever again. It should just always be bought for him.
That would be hilarious. Mostly be in the sense of, do people outside of how many people outside of Canadian soccer circles know who he is?
That's true. That's a very good point. The
laughter. It's kind of like, those cards that you get from high school for like $20 and you get like certain discounts at very specific locations. Like it could be.
Oh my God, those things. Yes.
You know what
I remember those.
We all know, everyone's listening. They know what I'm talking about too. But like, it's like, oh yeah, this is good for 15% off at McDonald's, but it's only these 4 locations and only one of these even vaguely close to your school.
Yep.
And it's not even the closest one to your school. It's the one that's 2 past it. Like, oh wow, thanks for the discount. That's what I feel it is. It's like a TV. It's kind of like saying you will eat for free at any single restaurant in Brandon, Manitoba. Good luck. Have a good time. Way to go. Good career, man. Thank you. Like, okay.
Maybe only Turkish restaurants.
There we go.
There's one in Burlington. Come.
Perfect.
I'll buy. I will absolutely buy.
Anyway, I know where there's a great one here near where I work, so I will buy there. There you go.
There's 2. This tour is already turning out to be better than whatever the CSA.
This is great. Yeah, we should be the ones planning this shit, right? Like, this is all making perfect sense to me.
He shows up at your Turkish restaurant. Is like, I just want a burger. I just want a fucking burger.
Turkey burger.
I've had.
Oh no. All right. Let's move on from that to a roster that we thought he might be on, which is the Gold Cup roster, which, as we mentioned, starts next week. And he's not on it because he's retired, but there are a couple other, depending on how you were looking at this, we were already sort of prepared for the fact that none of the big names were going to be on this squad. So the fact that there are any of the bigger names on this squad is actually a surprise to me. So everyone's freaking out over the fact that Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, Tajon Buchanan, Alistair Johnson, and Ismail Kone will not be on the squad.
Bullshit.
I was a little surprised about Tejan and Johnston, actually, and maybe Kone. Alfonso Davies, Jonathan David, Kyle Aaron. None of those surprised me at all. I wasn't expecting them there. So, it is Guadeloupe or Guyana that Canada will be meeting. Ooh, they're playing tonight. Oh.
Ooh.
Let's see.
So at some point tonight, we will actually know who they are playing against. When even is that game? Is it like next week? It's starting.
It's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Okay. Then.
Next Tuesday, literally a week from today.
All right.
Yeah, I can't find. Okay, I'll look for it after. So yeah.
Imagine how long Guadeloupe or Guyana's camp is going to be. They're already together now, and there's a whole other week before the game gets going.
I know. All that preparation.
Oh, wow. John
These tiny countries
behind the 8 ball.
I thought for a second there, Duncan, you were going to go, that's unfair for Guadeloupe for them to be so prepared. I was expecting it to go that way, but you went the other way. It's like, that's also good too. But I was, anyway. Point accepted.
Good. Thank you, Mike.
So the squad, it's a mix, right? Like there's definitely some younger players and some names where you'll be like, who is that? Although one that's on here, I guess this means that he is well enough, which is great considering how injured he was during the Voyageurs Cup. Ali Ahmed. I'm very excited to see him included. Mm-hmm. But the midfield's a little thin.
Midfield's a bit mid.
It's a bit mid. So we've got Borjan still going, so that's nice. So maybe Sweet Dane St. Clair, he'll probably play on Tuesday would be my guess. Tom McGill, still along for the ride. Good for you, Tom. But the midfield, Richie's still there. That's great. He'll probably be in the midfield because he tends to roam up there. Atakugbe, awesome. But so we've got in the midfield, we've got Ali Ahmed, we've got Mustachio, so that's actually very good. Victor Loturi, who he had called up. He played a match during qualifiers? No. Does anyone remember? I know. Osorio and Witherspoon. Now, to note about Richie Leray and Jonathan Osorio.
Witherspoon's with unattached FC. That's nice.
I know. It's back so to their weird. Glories. It's so weird to see.
Concentrating on his pubs.
Kristin, serious question. Why have the Voyageurs not made an unattached FC scarf yet?
Because you haven't designed it yet?
Oh, I didn't know we were waiting on me. Okay, all right.
No, it's a valid question. I will inquire with Mr. McLeod.
Everyone, good to know.
So that's the midfield. Like that's it. That's the entire midfield. But the forward, this will be fine. The attacking component, super exciting. Junior Hoylett, yay. Cavallini, walking red card.
That's harsh.
Okay, walking yellow card. Charles Andreas Brim. Yeah. Liam Millar.
Yeah.
Jason Russell Rowe. And wait for it. Jacob Shuffleboard.
Yeah.
My main hope for this is that sort of Cavallini gets to play against Guadeloupe or Guyana and can get like 5 or 6 goals, and let's get him past Dero as well before he retires.
Ooh, good plan.
That's what I'm looking for from this. Let's get Cavallini a lot of goals to catch Dero in that list.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that plan. I like that. And then, we've got Vittoria and Zator, Scott Kennedy, someone named Zach McGraw. Who is this?
Quick draw, Zach McGraw?
Right? And Zachary Brogiard, Kamal Miller.
Bro.
Anyway, Richie Larea and Jonathan Osorio, talk about lack of preparation, are going to be back with TFC for their match against WKRPFC on Wednesday.
Hey, two birds with one stone. Saves Canada some money and, gets them more
minutes,
playing time and that sort of thing, whether Larea needs it or not. I'm not sure.
But what about the lack of cohesion with the squad, Duncan? What about the chemistry, Duncan?
Yeah.
When there's only 5 midfielders, it'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, but still, there are names on this list for this squad that I just assumed would not be going by the way, just the rumors, just why people were talking about how they were approaching the Gold Cup. So the fact that any of the top tier players are included, I think is positive, and I do like seeing younger players because we got to bring somebody up. But yeah, that's the squad for next week and the next month, or however far they get along. Who's excited?
The bros.
Yeah, I'm less excited than I should be. They should be fucking going for this and potentially maybe winning it, at least getting to the final.
Yep.
But this team is got make it to the quarterfinals and then get knocked out versus
written all over it. Yeah,
Trinidad or somebody written all over it. Yes.
Is there an invited guest country this year?
Oh gods, that's a really there has to be. There always is. Who is
always.
it?
Is there always?
Isn't there always? I feel like it's like I feel like the last few there has
sometimes. Been. Qatar was there last time round.
Yeah.
Colombia was there in 2000. I know that much. So was South Korea.
South Korea,
yeah. Who's hosting the World Cup? Who's holding the next World Cup? They're probably here.
Yeah. We're the guests apparently.
God damn it!
That's funny. All right. So yeah, it's super exciting. It's the Gold Cup. I like the Gold Cup. Looking forward to next week's match just because I'm looking forward to next week's match. I like to get, we get one. Ooh, we get the one match.
Against Guyana or
Guadeloupe.
Yep.
Yeah. Get pumped. Pumped.
Amidst all the joking here, serious question. This is occurring to me now. The whole sort of Copa America thing. How does kind of like qualification for that count? I mean, were we supposed to win leagues? Nation, what the fuck it was to qualify, or do we win the Gold Cup to qualify, or is it just about highest seedings within CONCACAF get to play in the Copa America? Because that's something legitimately okay. Yes, let's go for that. But
that is a really good question, and I cannot remember at all.
You keep going. I'm going to try and look that up.
Yes, please.
I'm going to imagine coefficient.
Ooh, who doesn't love a good coefficient? That is quite the backdrop. Oh my goodness, what is happening here?
Coworker gave this to me.
That is wow.
That's glorious.
Wow. This is vastly different than what we saw you with the last time we had you on. So we're going to transition into that part of the show where we talk about TFC reluctantly. And joining us is long time, original OG supporter, listener, friend of the show, from the great state of Ohio. Please welcome Mike Hudson. Hello.
The okay state of Ohio.
The okay state of Ohio.
I was Oklahoma state of Ohio.
The okay.
You can't spell okay without Ohio.
Yeah, that's not Ohio education.
No, it's okay. We're doing a whole literacy drive because Tony can't read. It's fine.
Okay, all right.
It'll come out in the show. it's actually within the real early first part of the show instead of the usual, you gotta wait 45 minutes to get to it.
So I assume that like for the players to watch, like you guys spend, 12 minutes reading them all to Tony and then you record.
Stop sharing our secrets.
They send me infographics.
What the hell, dude? Like you come on the show 2 or 3 times and you just tell everyone our stuff. Like what's going on with that?
I mean, it's a very thin curtain, but we try to keep it.
I see through all the cracks.
It's a beaded curtain, really. So
it's a screen door.
Glass beads.
So before we jump into this, you are allowed 60 seconds of gloating. So your time starts now.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is like this. Like USA does not have a manager right now. We were short 2 players because of red cards. And so congratulations, Canada, on your win on Sunday night, I assume.
Fair.
Gonna mute his mic in a second. I said gloating, not knockout punches. What the hell, dude?
Yes. Congratulations, you beat a country 1/10 your size.
There we go. I just have to escalate it from there somehow, right?
Yeah. Congratulations.
Well, we may look big on a globe, but we're little.
Yeah. I worked very hard.
We could tell, we could feel how hard you were working.
You feel the slut's influence through the TV?
Obviously. That's how that works, right?
Yes.
All right. But we are here to talk about MLS. And I know more and more reluctantly every week I force them into it. So, the last time you were on the show to talk about this team, or they sucked, quite frankly. And we liked it that way because they were plucky underdogs who we still had a little bit of love for because we've given them a fun nickname and, Nick Hagland. But what the hell, man? Like, this is not part of the compact. Like, what? How dare you?
Yeah, like you give yourself an extra, 50% boost to your number of center backs, and things happen, apparently.
Whatever. Apparently you're undefeated at home and have like an excellent goal differential. Like, who said you could do that?
That can't possibly be a fact because we got a whole bunch of center backs and we can't keep having them healthy long enough to do anything.
Well, so how many are on the field at once?
Science, sir. I challenge it.
We get to put 3 on the field at once. I don't know who we sued and what court case we won to be able to do that.
That feels like cheating.
Yeah.
Revolutionary tactics.
Seriously, like what is the difference year over year? Like, is that it? Is it having a better defense?
The offense is actually fallen off a bit, actually quite a bit from last year. We were able to score 2-3 goals, sometimes 4, like at will. Whereas this year we're holding on for 1-0 victories. And not just at home. So 2 away 1-0 victories, one of them away to Nashville, which Toronto should have totally fucking had. I'm just
we know.
Putting that out there.
Yeah, we're well aware.
Not a secret. Yeah. Not a secret.
But yeah, it's the defense, the organization. Roman Celentano that was drafted in January of 2022 out of the University of Indiana. He got his first start against LAFC at home in something like June or July of last year because Alec Can got hurt, and Alec Can never got his job back. Right? Yeah. Alec Can has been playing in US Open Cup. And that's kind of it. He actually got some time at FCC2. So that's huge.
He's played every minute by the looks of it.
Yeah, Celentano is making worldy saves left and right. Matt Miazga, commanding the back line. We've had a bit of a rotation across the back line. Miazga's played a lot. But between suspensions and injuries, we've had rotations in the other two, the left and the right side. We have a guy named Yerson Mascara, who we acquired on loan from Wolverhampton, Wolves for Tony. And he's just been insane. He's an athletic freak, and he shows that every game. He's shifted over to the right side for injuries and suspensions, etc. So it is 100% the defense. You look at the stat sheet and it is what it says. We're not blowing teams out with possession. We're actually got, a little bit less than 50 most games, and that's okay. We kind of like it that way because we get to spring the counter on them. The rest of our team is extremely good at that, especially Lucho Acosta. So
I love how well you're set up to absolutely destroy our team. It's amazing. It's amazing. Well, yeah. give Toronto possession. They'll do nothing with it. Spring a counter. Oh my God. This is just, I'm having nightmares mid-show right now. It's horrible.
What's amazing is that this clearly isn't a secret, and there will be nothing Toronto can do to stop it.
Oh, no, at all.
I just want to thank Mark for sending me pictures of two wolves.
Ah, yes. You knew it was plural. Thank you. I wasn't sure if you were going to get the fact that, mind you, I did send two separate pictures of wolves, like a wolf and a wolf.
Over 56K modem, right?
Oh, well, I mean, took him this long to get that, so it's like line.
WUFLVS.
Oh, you're doing so good.
It's just reciting your file names.
.jpeg.
So,
.jpeg, yes.
So a question though, obviously again, this is the first time they'll have played each other this season. They have up until now, there's been no draws. And since Toronto is the team that loves a draw this season, they've got 4 wins each throughout the meetings. How do, in some fanciful land of soccer, because anything can happen in sports, what does Toronto have to do to beat WKRPFC?
So there have been a couple of games this year that were 0-0 at halftime. If Toronto gets to halftime at 0-0, there's a shot. But if Cincinnati
no, I didn't come here for that. I came here for like concrete avenues because there's no time for them to listen to us. So it's okay. We can't help.
You don't want to hear about my butt.
Bill, whisper in Bob's ear for us.
Cincinnati just has this way of pulling it out, something, between the 60th and the 75th minute to, just get that goal, whether it's off of a corner or something, to not be shut out at home. And it's magical. I'm going to be honest. It's magical. We beat Seattle 1-0. We beat Miami 1-0. Two teams, obviously at the same spot in the table. I should be, they're both very proud wins. That's just what it is. So if Toronto, even if Toronto can get to halftime at 1-1, because have you guys looked at the injury sheet?
No, go on. Is someone good injured? I said that with way too much glee. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, is someone injured?
Yeah, so Nick Hagglund is dead, Kristin. Didn't you know?
Your fault.
Yes.
It's your
Thanks, Kristin. I am literally history's greatest monster right
You'll
here.
You'll never get your passport back now. So rather than discuss that now, I'm going to let you guys blunder into it in player to watch. But, there are enough absences that Toronto can get one. Without giving too much away, and also I can't see Mark, so I don't know whether he's looking things up right now.
Oh, he is definitely looking things up. I came on camera to say it. For those of you who are watching the audio only, why are you watching audio only?
The video podcast is fantastic right now. Yes.
So
one of those is helpful. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait.
So without giving too much.
Yeah. Hamstrong, baby.
Yeah. All right. Never been much for the hamstrung. That's just me.
Wow.
I like my ham tender, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's probably the way you want it if you're going to be an athlete. So,
but I think that Cincinnati will see more shots go in, while Toronto will get better opportunities. Right? Okay, so let me just blow it out the water. All three of our center backs will not be our normal starting center backs. We're probably going to be starting a guy who's been playing a bunch for FCC2 named Joey.
Are you saying you're going to run out the B team because it's Toronto? Like, I totally would as well. I'd rest some fucking players.
Well, Matt Miazga is on international duty.
Nice.
Brandon Vazquez is also on international duty.
Nice.
Oh my God, that's so
so
comforting.
No Brichter Vazquez.
Yerson Mosquera is suspended for yellow card accumulation. That's the Wolves player. Mark, do you think for Tony? And Nick Hagland is questionable.
Doggies.
Why you?
Bless you.
Why are you calling Nick Hagland questionable? What have you got against Nick Hagland?
What did he do?
Hamstrung.
Fine.
He's got bad hammy, Joe.
Couldn't tell you what his injury is, but he didn't play in our last game way out in Vancouver. He didn't play that game because he got a little bit of a knock the week before. But it's been 10 days since Cincinnati has played a soccer game of any kind. So Nick has not received extra wear and tear. It may be like a game time decision whether he's ready. All I know is Nick is questionable. And then we have another player that you should be familiar with, and I am getting on my phone, looking at and scrolling. Where are you? Great radio.
This is amazing. While he's scrolling, I'm just going to interject, and we're going to quickly cast our minds back to the Gold Cup. Canada will be playing Guadeloupe.
Oh, that's
Guadeloupe won. That's nice.
Guadeloupe won 2-0.
They're hot.
They're hot, baby.
Who did they beat? St. Kitts and Nevis?
What? They beat Guyana.
They beat Indiana.
Guyana.
Indiana.
Oh, Guyana. Okay.
Guyana. Sorry.
No, Indiana.
I did not know that our states had their own individual national teams.
Sure.
So
I don't know.
That was news to me.
Puerto Rico, Guam,
Wyoming.
So Sergio Santos is the other guy that's questionable.
It's terrible. I'm so sad.
Another MLS veteran. Brenner's out with an ankle injury. He's also been transferred to Italy. And that rounds out our injury report.
Transferred to Italy? Is it Yulbrenner?
You got it, baby.
Brenner da Silva. So yeah,
amazing. There's a chance, everybody. But wait, do you know who's in net for Toronto?
Oh yeah,
I did see something in the rundown, but that was decades ago.
Greg Ranjitson.
I'm excited for him, but also I am just terrified.
Oh, I mean, as you know, Mike, we've had a tremendous hope for kids who come out of the academy, but the one position where it never, ever, really, ever, never comes through, position wise, is keeper. We probably haven't seen an academy keeper in at least a decade, possibly longer. Duncan,
was Monsalve an academy keeper?
What's that?
Kind of.
Quillen Roberts must have played at least one game, didn't he?
Or Quillen Roberts,
No.
One of them.
No, we did. I also said a decade. And Monsalve would have been like year 4. Anyway, my point is that we've seen a lot of kids just kind of hit the ceiling and that's it. So Ranjit Singh is finally going to break that ceiling. Thank you, international call-ups. So he is fresh meat. And
I have brought up Greg Ranjit Singh's match log, and there's something must be broken about the TorontoFC.ca website because it's not showing anything. Like it's still loading his match log.
It may, you know what? You might be there a while.
Does it at least give a picture of him?
Yes,
it shows a picture across the top. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Man.
There it is. He got it.
It says he's a senior, so I guess he's graduating real soon.
Oh, yes. Yes. No, I don't know what his degree is in, but we're really proud of him.
He's gonna get his diploma. Yeah. So that's actually, if all else fails, I'm just happy to see another academy kid.
You know what?
Really get a run out, even though, and to be fair, last year he would have been the third choice keeper because we couldn't decide between we couldn't decide between the keeper who probably should be retiring but was really good, and the guy who could not stay on his motherfucking line to save his life. And between those two of them being just okay with a crappy defense in front of them, they both left, but we got a complete upgrade. So if it wasn't for the international call-up, Sean Johnson would have been in net.
Exactly.
Speaking of seniors, Mike, how much you talked about the tactical prowess and the improved defense of FC Cincinnati, but how much would you say owner Carl Lindner III's self-professed 30 minutes of prayer to start each day have affected the team?
I wish I had a better answer. Like, this is the first time I've heard of this. So 30 minutes, my God.
I have it from every day, according to research.
Are there any thoughts? Does he give thoughts, or is it just prayers?
No, just prayer, apparently.
Just prayers, no thoughts?
Yeah.
The thoughts are there, for the end of practice.
I would assume some of the thoughts are 29 more minutes of this.
And does it say, Tony? Does it say who he's praying to?
No. Well, it does say devout Christians. So I assume.
I was hoping the great spaghetti monster in the sky or something.
Some form of the big JC.
I was hoping for the lesser spaghetti monster in the sky.
Julio Caesar?
Yeah, that's right. Tiny shorts.
Everyone should pray to Julio Caesar. Yes, come on.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend, praying too close.
No.
Especially in a stiff breeze. Those towels do not hide much.
Tiny towels.
So this may end up getting cut, but
no, doubtful.
Highly unlikely.
Challenge accepted. Go on, sir.
Duncan. I feel Duncan limbering up in the background.
I'm going to put a timestamp just in case.
Okay, good.
But
Mike, what would you like to share with the class?
Do you remember George Carlin's bit about it's just like free flowing hostility? There was a bit in there, and I think that's actually what he called it, is free flowing hostility. He said, can we do anything to silence these Christian athletes that praise Jesus when they win and do not mention him when they lose? It's Jesus tripped me up behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jesus. You know what? That's one of the greatest things about Major League.
Oh yeah.
When what's his name? Fuck you, Jobu. Charlie I do it Sheen. Myself,
In the Onion movie, which is a movie I've seen more times than anybody should, there is a bit where they lose the championship and the star player goes, You know what? Screw you, God.
Nice.
It was like, oh,
I would love to see that.
I mean, it would be at least
or an actor doesn't win an Academy Award or something, and they're doing their interview afterwards. Yeah, like, fuck you, God. Like, what the hell, man?
At the very least, if they're gonna, effusively thank Jesus, at least blame Satan if you lose.
There we go.
Thanks a lot, Satan.
So that is courtesy of me listening to way too much George Carlin back in college.
No such thing. Everyone needs to listen to way more George Carlin. The world would be a much better place, a much, much, much better place if everybody listened to way more George Carlin. 100%.
The more you dig into Cincinnati's back room, the more you can see the keys to success. Especially in this match. TFC legend Hunter Freeman is the head of scouting.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
Seriously?
Uh-huh.
One of the many players who so did not want to be in Toronto and did nothing to hide it while on the pitch. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Glad we got him.
Not only that, the domestic scout, fan of the show, Mike the Gorilla.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were about to say what was his name? The e-cigarette guy. Danny Caliph.
Yeah. Comedy cigar. Yeah.
Yes. I totally thought that's what you were about to say. I was like, oh my God.
Mike the Gorilla.
I thought Mike the Gorilla was just with us for a short time before moving on to something bigger and better, maybe on TV. I did not know he was still around.
Apparently he's listed as your domestic scout, so they could be involved watching TV.
Touche.
Yeah. Whole bunch of people come round and clean his house. Every day it's somebody different, and he watches them see, okay, who's best. And that's it. That's all he does.
He's grading the quality of lunch that they cook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This hot dog's a little underdone.
I will say this: Cincinnati has neither a unit coach or a positioning coach. So good luck.
Oh well, they're already so far ahead of the game. Then, damn it. All right, let's. Now that Mike has given us the lowdown on the players that aren't available, and I'm sure we've forgotten most of them, but let's do some players to watch.
Lucha Acosta. I'll just throw it out there. It's the obvious one.
Fortunately, still valid.
I'm gonna go with Kubo because it's still a fun name to say. And
Kubo has not been starting, but he's a solid, especially since we brought him in as a winger and then turned him into a midfielder. We've thrown him on as a late game substitution at wing rather than midfield a handful of times this season. So it's probably where you'll see him.
Off of the bench.
Yes.
Perfect.
Signed as a DP.
Got to be Aaron Stupendous Bupenza.
Oh,
What?
yeah. He is still in Africa, but good shot.
As of today, he is.
Yes. Who
Tomorrow's
knows,
another
right?
day.
Yeah.
People love to just, go out and run out for the first time after putting on the shirt, after a 16-hour flight from Africa to the Midwest.
Yeah. There's no, you telling me there's no Ohio to Gabon direct flights? not even from Randy Savage International?
He's going to wish that there was a Ohio to Gabon direct flight back. I'm just kidding.
Wait, is Wobodo playing right now as well?
Obi's not on his national team as far as I know. So
okay,
he should
well then
be
that's my player to watch then.
All right, yeah. He is the
So
last year when Cincinnati acquired Matt Miazga, it made a difference. Also acquired Jeff Cameron the year before, made a difference. But the defense was not solidified until we got Obi Wobodo to play the 6. Junior Moreno plays, it's a double pivot 6. When he's in the squad, he will play, right next to Obi. And both of them have goals this season as the sixth. So we're spreading out the goals, that's for sure.
So I presume that Jay Moreno isn't actually Jaime, but I see here it tells me it's Junior. Please tell me it's Jaime's kid.
I have no idea. I just know him as Junior Moreno. Let's look it up.
That would be so cool.
He is Venezuelan. Does that seem?
And 5'9", 154 pounds. That could be Jaime Moreno.
Sorry, Moreno's father is Carlos Horacio Moreno, a former Argentine footballer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Mm. Now, did that guy play for Middlesbrough? I doubt it.
A fine question. So is everybody given their FCC player to watch?
Yes. I believe.
Yeah. Who are you? Who are you watching on Toronto?
I can't name anyone but Hugo Mbangwe.
He is not available, so pick again.
How about Adama Diomande?
Also not available. You're doing amazingly well. Wow. Are you just looking at the injured list right now? Is that what you're doing? Because that seems mean. We chose actual players after you gave us the injured list. So even though our injured list has finally shrunk some, which is nice.
I mean, yeah, it's only down to 6.
Never deny a man the opportunity to say Hugo Mbangwe at least once a day.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
I would. We've said names for lesser reasons, so I fully
100%. Yeah. 100%.
But
it's
for me,
it's a great name.
Yeah.
It's all about Lorenzo. Huh? I missed it.
Did you say Insigne?
Lorenzo Insigne.
Nice. He would be it. He's been their only good player lately, so I shouldn't say that. That's not true. He's been one of their best players lately, though.
Oh my God, I heard Kristin say that.
I know.
Central attacking Italian player.
Every team needs
position,
one.
Right?
Yes.
But yeah, he's scary, especially when you've got a guy we drafted in 2021, a guy that's been playing with FCC more recently than FCC2 more recently than FCC, and a potential 1900-year-old former MLS Cup winner from 2017 playing in your back line. Like, them Italians are scary.
Stop giving us hope, Mike. I know you don't mean it.
We've seen a few.
All right, well, let's do predictions for this match then. Mike, as the invited guest, would you like to go first?
I will go first.
Excellent.
I'm going to go 4-2 to the home team.
That sounds very reasonable.
Or Greg.
But it's 1-1 at halftime, and everybody's freaking out.
1-1 at halftime.
Everyone's freaking out.
We're freaking out because we're in it.
I thought the whole thing was that you guys don't score goals or let goals in.
My goodness.
They score all 4 goals between the 60th and 75th minute. Which is like, oh shit.
I feel like that's happened to Toronto at least once, so that's a possibility.
I'm pretty sure I made almost $1.67 off of betting, like live in the moment when Philadelphia was just pacing them for fun.
Oh God, that's right. It was like every time you blinked, there was another fucking goal.
Yeah, just that. Who's going to score next? There's only 22 minutes left. Philadelphia, score. Who's going to score next? Philadelphia, score.
Philadelphia are going to do that to a lot of teams this year, I think. They are quietly creeping up the table.
Well, now that they don't have anything else to concentrate on, then
exactly. They got knocked out of Open Cup and Champions League, so.
Yep. All right. Gentlemen, the rest of the gentlemen, predictions.
1-0 Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think I think Mike already said it for us. So
yeah. Frecky ball lives.
2-2.
You just have a different bald manager now.
Sure. Frecky was never bald. Frecky's got a fine head.
He's got a glorious full head of hair.
Yeah.
I thought he was bald when he came back because he was coaching St. Louis FC in
like, I mean, they'll make you tear your hair out, but no, the man still has a full head of hair as far as I know.
He's been with Seattle a while. He's still got hair.
Yeah, I've seen him on the bench. Yeah, I'm going 2-2 just because I have this insane optimistic streak. So
2-2. All right. So who scores to tie it up?
Oh, Cincinnati scores to tie it up. Toronto goes ahead. False sense of confidence. Cincinnati scores to tie it up in like the 93rd minute. Yeah, 100%.
All right.
2-0.
So do you? Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah,
I know.
Mike, do you want to stick around and talk about the T-terrorists?
Sure.
Fantastical.
Toronto plays twice this week against two of the best teams in the East.
Hooray.
It's so exciting, and will totally make us forget all of our woes about the men's national team.
Right.
Yay. So still on the road. And again, they're all away from home, which is magical. Toronto next journeys to play against the stupid T-terrorists and their stupid coach on Saturday, who also have pretty decent home record. They haven't lost at home either. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, their coach is what a Bruce Stadium.
Yes.
Bruce Coliseum.
Bruce Ballpark.
Yeah.
That person. Yes. The only other than the fact that it's probably going to be pain. The interesting thing about this match is that Josie Altidore, no longer a T-terrorist.
Oh.
I know. Isn't everyone heartbroken?
Yeah, I feel like no, not in the slightest.
I know. I felt I'd forgotten until I was pulling up the stuff for the show notes. I was like, oh right, they bought out his contract last week. Completely forgot. Like it barely registered. So yeah. So no more Josie. Expect the drum beats for him to come back to Toronto with Seba to like save us to start heating up. That would be my guess. Don't you dare.
If they come back as a package deal, I'm okay with it because it'd be too fucking
Do they share one salary? Can we get one physio?
Yes.
And one physio. One salary and one physio between the two of them.
And 2 legs.
And one hamstring.
Yeah, they play tied together like some kind of like
just save on shin guards.
Or maybe Josie just wears.
Well, one of Josie's could probably like protect all of Seba's body, so you know.
Well, what if Josie just carries Seba around in a papoose?
Well, yes, but I mean, let's face it, like Altidore's better in the air. Javinko's better with his feet. So I think Javinko's got to be the one with like Altidore on his shoulders or on his back.
Ooh, maybe they could wear a trench coat, classic movie comedy style.
Yeah. But Javinko's on the bottom, though. It's not Altidore giving Javinko a piggyback or anything like that. It's the way around.
Yeah, whatever. He'll have to work on his upper body.
Sure.
I'm all for this.
I am completely on board for this.
I want to know where the center of gravity is for that duo.
About
somewhere level with the goalpost.
I don't know if science can measure that kind of center of gravity.
Oh no. So like we don't like New England for many reasons as a team, from their terrible turf to their currently terrible coach. Don't
forget the owner
and their absolutely horrible owner.
Every morning he prays for 30 minutes to a bowl of macaroni and cheese.
Ooh. While getting a massage.
Excuse me. I think if you look up the fact, you'll find that it is in fact cheese and macaroni, not macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
You fucking weirdos.
This is like the New England spaghetti monster. It's just Kraft mac and cheese.
I think
in a box.
At one point, it was on the box and it said cheese and macaroni because they wanted to emphasize the cheese, not the pasta.
That's right. That's
well,
right.
That's just
that was a whole marketing thing. Yeah.
Don't talk to us about dairy. We put milk in bags.
Exactly.
Can they actually call, is the cheese and like Kraft dinner can legitimately be called cheese? instead of just cheese product.
Cheese product, yeah.
Depends on which one you buy. Yeah, like because some of them it comes and it's powdered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, did you ever hear the story about Bob Kraft, Putin, and the Super Bowl ring?
Oh God.
Yes.
So
is this like
which two walked into the bar?
Is this like when Mr. Burns went to Cuba and Fidel Castro stole his check?
Basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Putin and Kraft are hanging out for some reason, and Putin asks to see Bob Kraft's Super Bowl ring. As the owner, he gets a ring. Putin just turns around and walks away, and two giant Russian men get between Bob Kraft and Vladimir Putin, and he still has that ring.
That's fucking hilarious.
To be fair, Kraft's got plenty of them. He doesn't need them all.
Touche.
I mean, when did Putin? When whoever gave Putin a ring of any kind? Like,
right? Know, like seriously, poor guy.
Why doesn't Putin deserve a Super Bowl ring?
The less reported follow-up to that story, though, is that half the Russian nuclear arsenal is now in Foxborough.
And all the planes have just got like little, like tiny diamonds on them and like tiny jewels, like bedazzling all of the planes.
Robert Kraft can declare war on anyone he wants.
Like the Indiana national team.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
To be fair, Indiana deserves to be in CONCACAF more than Guyana. At least they're on the continent. At least they're in North. Yeah.
Yes. Looking Guyana. Outrageous.
So,
don't ignore us.
terrorists are being, I'm going to try, are being annoyingly good again this season in third place and whatever, just doing shit. And, you know, they score a lot of goals, but they let in a decent number of goals as well. Defensively, they are not as strong as some of the other teams at the top of the East. In fact, they have let in more goals than Toronto. So there you go. The Matt Hedges lists Toronto for this week. Yay. Although maybe he's back on Saturday. Please, football gods. But they are missing one of their best players.
Yeah, Josie Altidore left. We heard.
I know, but another one.
Oh,
Omar Gonzalez?
Is it the keeper?
Tommy McNamara?
No, it's their top scorer. Yeah, Tommy McNamara, he's been out all season. No, their top scorer.
Carlos Hill?
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, wow.
Leg injury, end of the month.
Okay,
so Gil.
My takeaway is that there's actual chances here to like get some points. I don't want to believe in any of them.
I know, me either.
But between Cincinnati playing the B squad of defenders and this information about New England, we're still going to probably lose both of them. But like,
probably
it's the hope that always kills.
Always kills.
I mean,
so the trick is
they've still got Nacho Gil.
Yeah.
Not my Gil.
Yeah. Bye, boy. Be bye.
The trick is going to be being 1-1 at halftime for both of the games. And you're just like, oh man, is this happening?
Yeah, why do I always think that Latif Blessing is like in his mid-30s? Like whenever I see his name on the roster and I'm like, Latif Blessing's still around. And I'm like, fuck, he is not that old. Why do I think he is ancient?
He's been around a while.
He's only
How old is he?
He's 26.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't think he was 26 either. Even when you prefaced it, Kristin, with, oh, he's not that old. I'm thinking, yeah, he's like 29. No, it's even younger.
I know.
26 is your prime, man.
Yeah, but in my head, he's in his 30s, and I don't know why I think that.
He started his professional career at Ghanaian club Liberty Professionals FC. On their badge, it says, "Simply the best."
Tina would be proud.
R.I.P. Tina.
Oh, I hope they were good to him.
Andrew.
So yeah, all right. Are we doing player to watch? Player to watch.
Let's do player to watch. Player to watch.
All right.
Player to watch.
So is the Major League Soccer.com website working for you guys in any way?
Yeah, I have like somehow, 3 different tabs open right now.
Okay. I don't know what's happened. Maybe it's just an Ohio thing, but nothing is working. Like I'm still waiting for Greg Reggie.
State of Ohio has shitty Wi-Fi, is what you're saying?
Game log, yeah. Well, I'm not on the Wi-Fi that's in Ohio, but I'm wired in.
Kristin, I don't think the OK State of Ohio is so much as a slogan as much as it's a rating that was given to them. So
yeah. So revolutionsoccer.net
infrastructure.
Trying to bring up the standings. No, by the way, revolutionsoccer.net. It's been 25 years, people. You couldn't get a better domain. Jeez. Like, you are literally owned by a billionaire.
Name recognition is important, Mike. People know that.
Name recognition is important, Mike.net.
Sure. Yes. But people have been going there for decades, Mike. You can't just change it on them now.
Yeah, there's more than one decade. So you are telling the truth, sir.
Mm-hmm.
.net.
All right, players to watch.
Well, I feel I always go with male porn star Ben Sweat, so I'll change it to male porn star Noel Buck.
Oh, jeez.
Good one. Good one.
That's a solid choice right there.
I'm not even going to look up what the initial is. I'm just going to pick Danko Jones.
Nice. Fuck yeah. New album coming out, new tour. Because there's an election coming up in Toronto, I'm going with Polster.
Hilarious.
Oh, hey. Well done.
Hey-o.
Eddie Edwards Jr.
Has to be Eddie, doesn't it?
You'd hope so.
It's got to be. That's why you never click on the name. Just assume. Guess
just
what
assume
the first
and go
name,
with it. Yeah.
That whatever that first initial is probably correct.
Earl Edwards Jr. I mean, fuck off.
No,
who was Earl Edwards Sr.? Nobody.
No, but the idea that Eddie Edwards Jr. means that somebody's dad was like, "No, fuck you. I'm going to do it to my kid too."
You talking about the guy needs ski jumper?
All right. I think that Đorđe Petrović gets one in this game. I think that's how you say it.
Reasonable. I'll accept that as a
Petrović.
I will accept no correction on the first names, but the last the last name I can accept a correction.
I mean, maybe they pronounce it like Pulisic, and it's Pulisic or something like so. Would there be some kind of nonsense like that? It's
his first name, also a major world religion.
Ooh.
Well then.
Yeah. Yes. But Petrovic. I know. Petrovic. I would go with it. Anyway, I went with Eddie Edwards, didn't I? So never mind. Omar Gonzalez. I know, right?
I keep forgetting he's there.
So does New England because he's got 4 pitches.
And rightfully so. Man, but players have, they fall off, right? Like it happens. You watch the decline, but man, has a player ever fallen off so sharply than Omar Gonzalez from season to season? And that was while he was still with Toronto. Like it was.
Honestly, I think we were like,
did he drink some magic juice that season when he first came to Toronto? And then like it was wild.
Yeah. The deterioration in the off season was spectacular.
Like, what the fuck were you doing, Omar? How much partying, man? Like, come on. It was wild.
5% beer will do that to you. When you're not ready for it.
I feel bad for for continuing on my joke of male porn stars. Take first Ben Sweat, then Noel Buck. I think I should change mine.
Okay, what are you going with?
Male porn star Bobby Wood.
Oh yeah,
Roberto.
Oh, even better. That's even better. Roberto Wood. You know,
as a former men's national team, you have to say his name, Roberto
Wood.
Mm-hmm. I mean, was he Brazilian? Is that why it's Roberto? Hey.
Oh no.
Wait a minute.
Born in America.
Is he from like Detroit or something?
But his middle name is Shu.
Let's find out.
His middle name is what?
Shu. Maybe it's two last names, but SHOU. And by the way, he's from Honolulu.
Where Ricky the Steamboat Dragon is from?
He's from Charlotte.
Ricky the Steamboat Dragon. Yes, indeed.
Ricky the Steamboat Dragon.
I think that's the episode title.
Fantastic. Love it.
You're welcome.
My favorite place to go gambling.
Shut up. It's been a while since I gave you all one of those, so there you go. Enjoy it.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and I'm sure so will the.
And I'm sure it's going to come back over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, we will find ways to fuck up.
To work this into every show. Yeah. Ricky Blood. Anyway,
Bobby the Ian Brain, favorite manager.
Shut up.
Oh, Randy the Savage Macho Man.
Shut up.
That airport's in Akron, by the way. I'm
a fucking walking Radiohead song. It is the worst thing. Predictions for this match, not for anything else.
Me and Mark are too busy changing nicknames in the middle names.
Yeah, I'm gonna. All right, my prediction is
for the match.
1-0 New England Revolution, or sorry, 1-0 New Revolution England.
Hey yo. 3-1 New England.
2-0 New England. A brace by George the Steel Animal.
Nice.
I also am going 3-1 New England. Also 1-1 at halftime.
It's the most dangerous score in sport.
For Toronto, it is.
2-1 T-Terrorists. And it is 1-1 at halftime, and the T-Terrorists score late and win. Because that's the Toronto way.
Tradition.
Indeed. As is tradition. All right. Well, that's our show.
Great.
And I'm going to try and end it before I get tortured more, which isn't going to happen, but I'm going to try. It'll be exciting. Mike, thank you so much for joining us, as always, for a WKRPFC look ahead.
Thank you for the invite.
Obviously. Please join us next week when we look back at two likely Toronto FC losses, preview Canada's Gold Cup match against Guadeloupe, and more. I have been joined by the entire Vocal Minority Podcast panel and our fabulous guest, Mr. Mike Hudson. Please tell the listeners where you can be found out there on the Twitters.
At Mike Hudson Sucks. It's real easy to remember because it's my name plus the word sucks.
Maybe Mike Sucks Hudson will be best.
That's a big river.
Don't you dare register that.
Soon to be part of the Two Soccer Network.
I mean, don't Google that. Don't Google that at all. Out there on the Twitters at Duncan D. Fletcher, Mr. Duncan Fletcher.
Dwayne Johnson Rock.
I hate my life so much. Oh God, holding it down on the Twitters at Vocal Minority CA, Mr. Tony Walsh.
Call me by my full name, Big Man Boss.
hate you so much. You have no idea. The Twitterverse at KitterMark with a K, not a Q, Mr. Mark Hinckley.
Thank you to everybody who continues to support our podcast via Patreon. We absolutely appreciate it. We have shirts. You can go find the link to our Zazzle shop on our website, vocalminority.ca. And as Jake the Robert Snake would say, up the Interstadt.
Why didn't I take Bam Bigelow Bam?
I hate you all. I hate you so much. As for me, you can find me on the internet. Yes, the entire internet at KZ Knowles. I have been your host, Kristin Knowles. And until next week, Canada, get used to it.
.net.
Fantastic.
So I figured out my problem. I am an old school internet user. I am using Firefox as my main browser on this machine.
Nice.
That is why no MLS websites work. I switched over to Chrome. Immediately, they're all up and running.
Wow. I'm impressed too. Was Netscape Navigator not working? Holy shit. That's
Netscape Navigator. Wow.
You got mail.
Are you still using ICQ?
I found the website over Alta Vista, so it's fine.
Edge, the #1 browser in the world for downloading Chrome.
Yeah. That's what I use it for. Thank you, work.